And I was in secondary school. I was a bit chubby and a bit fat, so I got bullied for it. And then I decided I wanted to join the army. So I joined the army at 16, came out, my girlfriend at the time sadly passed away. So I kind of found the gym as my sanction and my getaway, and that was where I kind of fell in love with the whole fitness industry.
In between dance lessons and dance classes, I didn't do much else other than drink, party and eat out. Got to the finals of Britain's Next Top Model, and that was kind of, I think, when the obsession started.
Fitness, an addiction, or a lifeline? It is estimated that 1.6 million people in the UK suffer from a diagnosed or undiagnosed eating disorder. Dominique is no exception.
I developed probably a worse eating disorder or habit, and that was binging. And I'd binge once a week, every week, and I'd make myself sick quite often, and I'd carry on eating. Quite a lot of it was done in private, so and it took somebody to actually sit me down and tell me that I had an eating disorder for me to sort of think, right, well maybe there's something that's not really working here. Because I'd spin twice a day, I'd run in between that, I would eat very, very little. I ever came to dieting, it was always a yo-yo diet, a crash diet, it was never anything sustainable. And then it went to the extremes of literally just having lattes whenever I got hungry. So like the sugar and carbs in the latte were probably the only thing that kept me alive at one point. It was still difficult to get my head around eating carbs, and it was still, when I'd eat them I'd feel guilty and I felt like I needed to train more. And I was eating as little as 400 calories a day, training twice a day and doing cardio.
Exercise addiction is a compulsive disorder where someone feels the uncontrollable need to exercise. This affects 3% of regular gym goers.
You wake up and you're feeling tired, but you know as soon as you go to the gym and you've trained and you've had that shower, you feel so good after, so fresh, and you are ready to hit the day. My girlfriend passed away, so I kind of found the gym as my sanction and my getaway. It could be like my sister's going out for a family meal, or my mum wants me to do this, and I always say, look, I can't, I've got to go to the gym, I've got to train, I've got clients, but basically I just want to go and train. I see it as it's my job to go to the gym, because I've been a personal trainer. I feel like being in shape and being fit is kind of like my business card. It's me selling myself. If I'm not training and I'm not being fit, then I feel I'm a poor influence to my clients who want to be fit. If you go down the bodybuilding route and you look at yourself every day in the mirror and you're thinking, oh, my shoulders looked a bit small or my chest isn't popping, then you're getting addicted to fitness, and then you're getting addicted to, I'd say, wanting to improve yourself and better yourself. But again, it can have a side effect to it. You can become so drawn into yourself that you're weighing every gram of your carb, every gram of macros, and you can't get out of that.
An exercise addict will feel irritable, restless, and even anxious if they don't exercise. How much exercise is too much exercise?
Somebody will push themselves to the absolute point. They could be doing hours every day, be there in the morning, be back in the afternoon. It can be a combination of classes, gym, running, cycling, a constant need to be doing something that literally takes over somebody's life. Some people may make a decision where they think, oh, I'd like to get fitter, I'd like to lose weight, I'd like to change my lifestyle. And they begin exercising, and they sort of get a bit of a euphoric high from it, and it starts to take over, and then they get very addicted to that feeling, and they keep going and they keep going and they keep going. It can begin because somebody has something like an eating disorder, and their preoccupation and their thoughts around food and exercise and body image will trigger that need, and it can go hand in hand. It can also begin when someone's in a really difficult time or space in their life, if they've gone through something really difficult or stressful, bereavement, divorce, whatever it may be, and they channel that energy into what they think is a healthy coping mechanism, which it can be, but then it takes over. And it's going to take huge strain on your body. It can place huge strain on people's bones, on muscles. It can lead to things like having to have replacements, hip replacements. You've pushed your body beyond where it should be going. You get into this place where you're really numb and you're really detached and you're not feeling. You're suppressing everything because you're not actually facing what's going on for you. If you imagine somebody's underweight, say they're anorexic, or if they're bulimic and they're making themselves sick a lot, they're not in a position to be in the gym or doing the level of exercise that they're doing. That can put huge strain on somebody's heart and their body, and that's lethal, that's life-threatening. People will decline to go to certain things because they want to get their exercise in. That exercise will become, before anything else in the family, like, you will feel it's very difficult to be close to somebody when they're in full-blown addiction. You will feel that they're a bit detached, like you're missing something, that you're not as close as you used to be. And then obviously it's like really worrying and concerning to see somebody acting out like that, and to feel helpless and want to help them, not knowing what to do. So then often you go into the world of kind of like bodybuilding and want to build muscles and taking supplements, and that in itself becomes a very compulsive, addictive form of behaviour. And then so you have the kind of the two extremes. You have the cardio, wanting to lose weight, wanting to be, on this side of exercise addiction. I've got to lose weight, I've got to be smaller. But you have the other side of I want to be bigger, I want to be fitter, I want to be leaner. And either way is not healthy. It's never enough, and that's the thing with addicts and addiction. It's never enough, and ultimately it's about being happy within yourself and not turning to things like supplements or exercise to feel better.
For Dominique, she reached the light at the end of her tunnel, and now uses her platform to encourage and empower other women to not only be confident, but to be at peace in their own skin.
When I first started training, it was obsessive. It was as much as I could and eat as little as I could. Whereas now, obviously, it's healthy, it's sustainable, and it's more about being strong and fueling my body. I don't have an emotional relationship with food anymore. So food is food. Strong is the new sexy, strong is the new skinny, strong is the new pretty, and I actually probably couldn't agree more. I've been skinny, and it was the unhappiest I've ever been in my entire life. And I can hand on heart say that. I was insecure, I was bitchy, I literally found it impossible to be happy for anybody else. I was bitching about everybody else. I spent a lot of time on social media, I was hard on myself, I never gave myself a break. Whereas now, being strong is about being confident, it's about being empowered, it's about being able to walk into the men's section of the gym. So, the men's section, I don't call it that anymore, it's just the weight section. I'll walk into any gym, anywhere in the world, and I will be like, move out of my way, I need to get the dumbbell out. So it's not just about being strong, it's about being confident. And when we look at what we actually want as women, it's to feel confident in your own skin. It's having the ability to look at other people's beauty and look at their physiques and admire it without questioning your own. The happiest I've ever been is when I've just felt confident and felt at peace in my own skin. Your chapter 1 is not comparable to somebody's chapter 50. I'm not obsessive, I'm passionate, and there's a big difference.
Hayley Maddox explains that the addiction is not just an over-eagerness to exercise.
But when someone's starting to get addicted, they can't miss. Like, this is my class, this is my day, I have to go, I can't miss it. Like, literally, they feel like the world's going to end, and it causes huge anxiety. And if they can't get their fix that day, they'll get really agitated. If someone's very negative about the way they talk about their body and the way they view themselves and put themselves down and constantly think of their exercise and body as a work in progress, it's worrying because they're not comfortable with who they are. They're constantly trying to change it. If it's a lifestyle, you'd be able to be like, I'm going on holiday and I'm not worried about it. I'm having a week off, it doesn't matter. I might still go for a walk or whatever, but it's not the end of the world. When an addiction is when it really affects somebody's mental and emotional well-being, and a lifestyle wouldn't. It would add to it, make you feel better.
With the right support from family and friends, an addict can get through it, just like Dominique and Matt have done.
Because ultimately what life balance is about is exercise adding to your life in a healthy, moderate, balanced way, that you enjoy it. But if you missed a class or you couldn't go, you wouldn't feel devastated or upset by it.
Eat healthy. It's simple as that. Just eat healthy, eat good, nutritious food, and just train 2-3 times a week. Just be happy.
I still go hard, I still train hard, but I enjoy it, and I do it because I love it, not because I feel like I have to.